Hey guys, welcome to the Big Talk with Austin, your monthly podcast where we talk about movie news and anything movie related. I'm your host, Austin. I'm here with Carson, your co-host,
Hello, hello.
and the void of blur. Yeah. And if you guys are listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, welcome. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And this time we're on time, recording the day before it goes up. We're gonna have a lot of editing stress, but it's gonna be going up on time for once. But
What can I say?
it's like like these challenges that we do off screen. We have like a little bet challenges. This is the one that he's doing is sleep stress. It's like how many hours can you not sleep for? And NX overwork without being paid.
We're gonna figure that
So
out. No, I'm just kidding.
free labor. But so
This
we
is
got
why I'm in the blur void, right?
yeah. So instead of the what's the void in Superman that they send Zod to?
Oh,
That's I don't
you're
remember.
asking the wrong questions. I didn't prep for that. Everybody,
Uh
I'm out of prep right now, apparently. Just
but
kidding.
yeah. So we got a lot of interesting topics today, but before we get to the fun topics, we got to talk about some sad topics because nothing more is make my audience cry. It's either I make them mad at me for not liking something or I make them cry, I guess. That's the goal that we do on this channel. So if you guys don't know, which I would be shocked if that you don't know, is that last year is that we lost Matthew Perry, which I'm a huge fan of Friends. I don't think you're not really a big fan of Friends. You've seen some of the episodes, but
Yeah,
uh,
I respect him for the time and the way in which a lot of people like it. So I will never dispute that it's arguably one of the most successful shows ever.
yeah,
So
they released a 4K of the whole entire series, and the thing costs like $300, I think.
4K for that? My goodness.
Yeah,
I'm okay
I
not seeing it at all.
I like that show, but I forget the price. I might be being a little bit dramatic, but it's a ridiculous price still.
No, it's probably expensive. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But so unfortunately with his passing, he was found like in his like his hot tub, like and like people thought he maybe drowned or had a heart attack or whatever. But
Mm.
no, it came back. So we got a few months back, we got confirmation, or it's he's during this article that we're talking about. I forget which one came first or if it came at the same time, but he was apparently was found in his body top autopsy that he overdosed. And so it's like kind of strange to hear that when a guy is apparently was doing really well at being clean, and he wrote a whole entire book series, or it was probably just one book, about his addiction problems, and he was very upfront with Jennifer Aniston about it, and like they were actually pretty close friends, still after Friends, but so he and there's been five people actually uh attached to his death. Apparently, his doctor and I guess was like giving him like I don't know, I don't know the drug that he was given, um, and gave him overdose of it, and I guess that doctor was connected to a drug dealer, which I guess that drug dealer was connected to everything else. That's pretty much all I really know of the situation. You're the one that wanted to do the most of the research, so I'm going to let you do the most of the talking.
Yeah. So I think for me, the important thing is obviously we are not prosecutors, we are not law enforcement or doctors by any capacity. No, so upon looking at the actual, research behind it, and obviously based upon what the press has said, in this case, we're quoting an Associated Press news source. Basically, what was happening is looking at from a perspective that the dosage that he was getting from his regular doctors was not enough to help with the side effects of like depression, and I think it was like depression, anxiety, and a few other things. What's really interesting and really sad about this is that obviously, he did write a book about this, and so he was very open and forthcoming about his struggle with that stuff. And so the idea that what he was getting regularly dosed was not enough. So in some cases, the article said that he was paying $2,000 a vial for extra ketamine that only costs $12, or would only cost a physician $12. So not only were these doctors giving him obviously above and beyond his prescribed medication, basically
Yeah.
acting like a drug dealer, basically to like help him with this. I mean, they were charging him horrible amounts of money, and now are potentially, like I said, I don't know the entire research of like, but now are potentially responsible or partially responsible for his death. And so you look at it from the fact of like they took all his money, and in this case, they could have also taken his life. And so it's just really sad to see somebody that, dealt with a roller coaster of emotions and being an actor and all the different things, and really struggling with that. And then seeing the fact that, that, there's five individuals that played a part in like helping dose him, helping get him the additional prescription, and also just taking his money more or less. And so it's interesting because they said that, that like they've pled to being not guilty, but they also said that there's charges related or allegations that they falsified his death records. So imagine like being responsible for death and being like, oh yeah, dude was not, on any drugs, trying to hide it. And now they're
Yeah.
finding out that they may have actually hidden. I mean, it's just a really sad story. You
So
just hate to see that.
yeah, so the doctor did not give out the drug that he overdosed itself. He simply they weren't giving him the right amount that gave him to the craving for the drug.
Good question. So his regular doctors gave him the prescription that they could prescribe,
Yes.
and then he wanted more, so he went to other doctors and paid them a boatload of money for that same drug to get more of it. So I think a good way to describe it is, imagine, like I said, we're really like lessening this. Obviously it's really tragic and terrible, but imagine going to your doctor and getting like one pill a day for anxiety and depression, and then they go, actually I want 10. Well, they can only give you one, and so he circumvented the system to get the other nine that he thought he needed. And it just so happens that it could have caused his death. So, like I said, I don't know. Like, they're going to have to prove that. They're going to have to go to trial, see how that all goes.
Yeah.
Um,
This just came out
especially,
recently, like in the couple weeks of just recording this.
yeah.
So not everything is really full out about it, where it's just like little minor little details. So there's still like an investigation going on for it.
Well, and he had surgical anesthesia in his system too. So why did he have? There's lots of things that they're going to have to basically break in to see. Okay, why were the tests elevated on this specific? And so it's difficult because obviously, not everything could contribute to it, right?
Yeah.
But they have to diagnose and look at everything in a very holistic view, because odds are, if Matthew Perry was able to get additional of this drug, odds are there could potentially be other people that run into the same scenario or situation,
Mm.
hopefully that don't pass away. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I wrote down notes. It says, da, 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 his assistant received the ketamine, who pled guilty to obtaining the drug. In all, he delivered 50 vials of ketamine for Perry's use, including 25 handed over 4 days before the actor's death. They're giving him one. So he got 25 vials in a matter of 4 days. I mean, that's an outrageous amount of, I mean, how often were they dosing him? I think
Yeah.
that's what's really sad. Um, and they said that the amount found in his blood was in the range used for general anesthesia during surgery. So imagine having so much of a drug that's what they would use for surgery and anesthesia. And now he's in a hot tub, which is potentially elevating some of the levels of your body because, you're in extreme heat. It just sounds like it was potentially a recipe. Well, not potentially, it was a recipe for disaster. And it's sad that he
Yeah.
lost his life, in part. So it's really tragic. I really hope that they figure it out, and I hope that they start to crack down on doctors that help these, actors and actresses and athletes get medication. Because I don't know, if there's just certain things that you shouldn't do, and trying to mess with that and potentially killing somebody is just not.
Yeah.
It just isn't it.
Well, also
So
taking advantage of pricing someone.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine being responsible for their death and taking all that money. That's just ugh. That makes me so agitated and
Well,
frustrated. So
yeah, and but also imagine doing that to someone that barely can afford that, and so like that's
yeah.
even worse. And so
Well, and
yeah,
that's the thing, is I think it's they took advantage of somebody they knew had money and that they
yeah,
knew was popular. And that's the sad thing, is it's like, if he was a normal person, would he have gotten all that extra medication? Probably not. But I mean, $2,000 a vial is crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just absurd.
And
So,
if it did happen to a normal person, it wouldn't be as a big of talk as it is. And so,
which is also a problem.
yeah.
Um, and it even said, they likened it to, the Cybertruck, not the Cybertruck. Oh my goodness, I was jumping to a different topic. They likened it to that was way off topic. I'm so sorry, everybody. They likened it to like Michael Jackson getting additional drugs when he passed away, and so they talked about Mac Miller, they talked about Michael Jackson, about the ability to get specific drugs that we know in certain forms or in certain a certain substance or in excess of that can cause health problems, and in this case, it's led to the deaths of numerous people. And in some cases, we think about all the people that have passed away that are just normal people from
Yeah.
drug overdose. It's a massive problem, and it's something that they're going to have to start cracking down on because it's not right. And it's also like you can't get help if you're no longer alive. So I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that they get it all squared away. It's very sad.
Yeah.
So,
That's kind of all the input on this one. It's still very early stages, and it's unfortunate because I really like Matthew Perry. He's the one I think a lot of people connected to when it came to
mhm.
Friends. The most related guy and like the most funniest character on the show, probably. And probably, I would say he was probably the best actor on that show. I mean, Jennifer Aniston probably like she got more roles afterwards. She's the one that that's definitely what shot her career, and still a good actor. But you know, it's unfortunate that he's the one that it's unfortunate that he had to go through a lot of that, and like they took advantage of his trauma that he went through, and also took all his money. So, but yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on this one. If and
And Oh, I was going to say, and I was going to encourage, sorry, reading his biography or reading his
yes,
memoir, I think that that's a great opportunity to see a look in of, and it's really highly rated. It's an editor's pick and it has over 50,000 reviews, at least on
wow,
Amazon. I mean, he got a 4.5 out of 5 stars, which I think really speaks really well and highly of his book and his memoir. So I
yeah,
think that's a really good way to honor that and also partner with local organizations to help prevent these things from happening.
yeah,
So
yeah. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below.
mhm.
Um, so less sadder news, but the next topic will be reverted back to the sad
I know.
news, but it's kind of weird, but it needs to work with the flow of how topics are going. But so Joaquin Phoenix, he was working on a film called I don't know the film name actually. I don't remember the film name. But so he was working on a film, and it involved with him playing like a gay guy. And he decided to leave the project 5 days before filming, which is not good. And it's possibly leaving him, letting him to be sued. From my understanding, from the knowledge of at least the film wise, we don't know much about why he left. That was never really brought up. He's the one that came to the director and be like, "Hey, I want to make this movie," and so they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, let's make it." And so it's kind of weird. And so you're in the filming process. You're about to go film, and all of a sudden, the guy that came to you to make this movie and actually put a lot of money and effort into about to go into filming decided to leave. And so that's kind of like this big frustration in the air. And now he's most likely going to get sued for it. And so
Mhm.
because he broke contract or whatever, unless there was a good reason why he left. Now there's always something in an actor's contract where if there's a specific reason they can leave this project. But if let's just say nothing came from this, if
Mhm.
he's not getting sued, he's gonna have a hard time finding work anywhere because people are gonna be like, they're not they're gonna it's a big risk to take to work with him. Then it's like, oh, he can leave. If he leaves, and our project is screwed over and people are out of a job, type of deal. Well, they still get paid. I guarantee these people are still gonna get their full on pay, but it's
Yeah, this one's a really interesting article. You read it and there's, the report was that Joaquin Phoenix, was really excited to do this project and brought it to the, director's attention and, felt like they could push the boundaries on it. Some people think it's due to the LGBTQ themes. Other people think that he just had other projects.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to speculate because obviously,
He
some of
like
these
yeah,
things can
like
it
got
can hurt
pulled
an
for
actor, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but I think in either capacity, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix has consistently been in films or in movies that push boundaries, and so I don't know if it was necessarily this boundary in particular. I'm
He played
wondering
a
if there's
gay
more
character
going on.
before, right? I think it wasn't. I think there was one film that came out. Wasn't it A24? Wasn't he like somewhat, or was that Met?
I genuinely don't know, but I mean, based upon the stuff that he's acted in, he's a very method actor, and he's very good
Yeah.
at taking his opportunity. So I would say that it has nothing to do with that, and more so, there could be more behind the scenes. So it'll be interesting to see. I know that the idea of the film, like I said, was pushed by him, and so I'm really hoping that in some cases they find a replacement so that they can basically get
Well, see, the problem with finding a replacement, the whole movies was because Joaquin Phoenix came to them, so he probably has some rights to it as as well as like the name of Joaquin Phoenix as what pushed the studios to make it. It's like having that name was
sure.
actually meaning something. So now you have this project that they probably can't even release because he has a crucial thing, attachment rights to it. And also they lost a big name actor.
Well, and that's where they're going to have to figure out, what are they going to do with it? I mean, if they feel that he did something wrong and he did, legal
Probably.
action seems like
Uh,
fair.
Unless something
But
happened on set, like sets
sure.
before the filming day.
Yeah. Well, you remember, he had issues on Napoleon per
Yes.
certain reports. So,
He wanted
uh,
his like friend to be part of a screenplay or something.
yeah, like rewrites. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is, it's like, yes, actors should have some say because they're the huge draw for a movie. But I think there's a really good balance of
There
respecting
needs to be boundaries,
producers,
yeah.
director. Yeah, so I really hope they figure it out. I think for me, it's he's a great actor. He's proven time and time again that he's great. And so whatever project he ends up wanting to be a part of, I wish
Yeah.
him the best. And I think I hope they find a different actor that helps them come up with this story because I think that that's important.
Yeah.
Completion, especially if people want to see it. So.
Yeah. Most likely he is going to get sued for it. I don't, there's no other way I see this coming out unless, again, something happened on set this that made him decide to leave. But most
Yeah,
likely he's going to walk out giving some money.
yeah. No, I think that's fair. I
Yeah.
think, like I said, if they've lost money or are unable to do the project because he left, he should be held responsible for it. That would be the same if, I've said that I'm going to fix your roof and I buy all the material and charge you for it and then disappear and don't do it. I
Yeah.
mean, I would hope you'd hold me responsible if that was my job. So
Yeah.
more to
And I,
come. We'll
yeah.
see.
And I don't see Joker 2 being affected by this. If Joker 2 makes another $1 billion, maybe everything's forgiven. I don't know. But he's definitely gonna have to
Hmm.
be more choose wisely with the people that he works with because some people are not going to want to work with him. So yeah,
Correct.
let us know your guys' thoughts on this one. That's kind of all that we wanted to really
Drop the
point.
comments.
It's like, don't abandon people. Don't be a dick.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I think it's
but
just, if you sign a contract or you say you're passionate about a project, follow through or find a
yeah,
replacement, be like, hey, this isn't, I'm, Joaquin
it
Phoenix, I
turned
can't do it.
yeah.
Here's Daniel Day-Lewis. And I'm just kidding.
Here's Tom Cruise. Um, but like maybe he maybe fell out of love with the project. I don't know. Maybe it's something like he just didn't actually think it, or maybe it didn't turn out maybe the project didn't turn out as he thought it would in his head or something. I don't know. There could be a million different reasons, and maybe we'll never find out. So yeah, let us know your comments in the comment section, your thoughts in the comment section below. Now back to the sad news. Very, very sad news. More this is
Hmm.
so my frustration with Disney guys. So when I first heard about this was at first I was like, there's no fucking way. Because I got out seeing Alien Romulus and me and a friend were talking about this. And I don't he didn't say that he read anything, but he saw the headline and said and so practically, so what happened is that someone was at, was it Disneyland or Disney World? No, it was Disney World.
Yes,
So
at Disney Springs.
yes. And so someone was eating at a restaurant, and they had some food allergies. And so, and this was like a restaurant that was like very like food allergy free, or whatever. They try to make very well known to have two separate things. It's food allergy free and like the regular food or whatever. And and this person asked multiple times, "Hey, does this food have such and such?" And the waiter goes like, "Yeah, it doesn't have that or anything." And next, well, like, and they're supposed to give you like this green flag or whatever. They're supposed to symbolize it, like, okay, this is allergy free. And and they come back and give the person the food, and she goes like, does this have such and such? And they try to really double down on reassuring, like, it doesn't have anything. This is like, you're totally good. And actually eats it, and next a few hours goes by while she's walking around at Disneyland or Disney World or whatever with her family, and dies right on the spot.
Mhm.
And so now this happened like a year ago, right, or 2 years ago from.
I don't remember the exact date. It was, yeah, died in 2023.
Okay.
So about a year ago.
Yeah. And so now the father is suing Disney for good reasons, like something that was like despicably like clear on, like, hey, this person has food allergies. We need something to be done about to make sure that this doesn't happen and such. And so and people have been pointing out the reasons why, like, Disney's like defense and whatever. And the big one, which I don't even know why they this is not really their defense, but there's a reason for it, but it's still a
Hmm.
stupid thing. So Disney pointed out their Disney Plus service reasons, and I forget the word that their
Arbitration.
arbitration.
It's
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it happens quite frequently in a lot of
yeah.
contracts. People don't read them. From somebody who used to work at an unnamed car company, when you purchased that vehicle, you automatically were entered into arbitration via the contract.
Which is
Um,
what, are you speaking of someone that starts with a C?
No, I'm
Oh
not
no,
telling you
no.
which one. I don't
Oh,
want to get sued. These companies are so happy.
oh,
But no,
yeah,
when you purchase a vehicle,
yeah.
you're automatically put into arbitration and you have 30 days to opt out. And so the idea is like, hey, if your car exploded, instead of being able to sue this company, you would have to go through arbitration.
Which is a
Which
separate thing.
Correct, which is a
Yeah,
third party that usually comes up. It basically helps try to limit lawsuits,
yeah.
um, and get less. Whereas maybe like a judge may award you something more than an
Eh,
arbitration case would.
Which
It
is not, it's not a real person that is like a judge. It's like a random person that you pick to be like, and that you speak to.
Yeah, usually it's
Yeah.
something that both party agrees on. But the problem is that it is there's a few things wrong with this story. One, how does a contract from a
From,
streaming service applied to a physical park?
yeah.
My understanding, I think, is that Disney's going to try and remove that filing for arbitration so that it can go as a lawsuit. Um,
Well,
they're big corporations. They have things that are written to defend them.
yeah.
I think the bigger problem is that a company would be willing to go to such great lengths to try and apply a specific contract from 2019 over to products in a physical park. I mean, if
Yeah.
that was the case, it could be like, I bought a toothbrush, and when I bought the toothbrush and it
Yeah.
electrocuted me to death,
Yeah.
I said I would go to arbitration instead of. I mean, this is just
Yeah.
it's a
So
very slippery slope.
they're not using Disney Plus as an excuse, like, ha, you signed up for Disney Plus, so you can't sue me. And if that was the case, no one would sign up for Disney Plus. But they're trying to, that's what they're trying to use arbitration as their reasoning, so then they can sidestep the lawsuits, and go more of like a more of a quicker, cleaner way of handling things. Um, they're um they're real. Hey, stop it! Don't lick that spot. Sorry, my cat has a thing. And they can't lick. So gotta cut that out. So, but their real defense is really what they're trying to use is that
Hmm.
so they never the restaurant that they went to, they they actually don't own. And so that restaurant actually rents a certain spot out to Disney to have their restaurant there. And so in their case, they're trying to use arbitration to sidestep that, so because of that reasoning that, like, hey, we're sad about what happened, but we're not really responsible because we don't own that restaurant. So if you want to want to make some a deal, we will do arbitration with you, and so we don't have to do these lawsuits. And so they're using the restaurant as their, so that is basically, that's their defense, and saying like you should deal with the restaurant yourself, and suing the restaurant, which I think he is. I think he's suing both the restaurant and Disney. And people are saying like, oh, it's for like a small price, and I don't remember the
I
price that
mean,
he's.
that's people say small price. I mean, even if it was 50 million, that still doesn't bring
Yeah.
back his spouse.
Well, see, but the minimum that he is suing for, like the number that they put out there, that's like the minimum that he's suing for. But people are thinking like that's the maximum. And so, um, but 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 so I get so trying to train my thoughts here. So, but Disney is still can get sued because they're technically reliable because they are leasing out that part of the land. So it's like, I don't know, like say like you did Aaron,
Airbnb?
yes, thank you.
I got
Uh
you. I got you. I know where
um
you're going.
NX, I don't know, you're the landlord of it. NX, I died on your property because you had drugs, I don't know, or something in your house, and you would be you, even though you would be, even though it's like my responsibility, because say if I brought the drugs or whatever, you would still be reliable because it was on your property. um
I mean, and that's the thing is it's you would go after whoever was responsible for that restaurant. But even then, I think one thing that I would like to say, I'm not taking sides, is as somebody that has family members that are extremely allergic to food allergies, eating out is always a toss up. There is never a guarantee. I mean, even if you prep it on a different table, all it takes is a little dust on one glove or one, cooking utensil or one knife. You got to be super, super careful.
yeah.
Um, so that's an important, aspect or thing to think of, especially when you're dealing with food allergies, um, especially like peanuts, tree nuts. Um, there's just a lot of things. So
Yeah. Well, and this restaurant needs to be held responsible. And I forget their defenses and all that, but this restaurant needs to be hold to their accountabilities. So yeah, it's unfortunate news. But there's also other things about the reason why, oh, you can't sue us, is if it was in Florida, which that's where it's going to be taking place. So there's a lot of mixed things going on about this, and misunderstanding standing about this whole entire story, because a lot of people are getting all upset about the Disney Plus service defense, and it's like it's not really their defense, it's just more to point you to arbitration more. And so
yeah, it's still a wrong stance to take as a large company, especially with the fact that
no, yeah,
the
still
last,
still a stupid thing to say.
yeah,
But um
bad thing to do. But
but I
we'll
understand
see
what
what
they're
comes of it.
yeah, I understand where they're coming from, but not a good thing to use. You watch one episode of The Acolyte? You can't sue us. Well, I definitely, if I wish I could sue you for The Acolyte. Gosh. But yeah,
Reclaiming my time. Just
yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank. I was about to say thank you very much for watching. It's not over yet. We're just getting started.
I was
Um,
gonna say, I was like, whoa, bro, you like
oh,
took us out already.
but let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on this situation, and let us know in the comment section. I'm really stumbling on my words. Let us know. I really want you guys to let us know. Anyway, guys, moving on to the next topic. Speaking of the Acolyte, something I would like to sue Disney for. but not for this, actually. They actually did something good. So the Acolyte season 2 is not happening. And which good riddance, because the first season was just awful. And but in this whole entire situation, there's been an uproar from people on the internet saying like Disney has caved. They have given in to the haters. And it's like, if but that's not true. That's really not true, because Disney has their agendas and all that. Yes, yeah, whatever. Remade, but if you really look into the articles that that break down the why of the Acolyte season 2 isn't happening, it's because no one watched it. No one watched the first season of the Acolyte. So why would they make a second one? You're just burning money at that point. They released the numbers of
Yeah, they were not good.
no, it's like
They were way less than I thought they were going to be.
the Andor was the lowest watched season, and they used that season, but the lowest watched Star Wars show on Disney Plus, and it was even lower than that. It had around a 336 million minutes watched for the whole entire season, I think, or is it either for like the final episode or whatever. The Acolyte had more, and that's a show that no one really knew about, and that one had a lot of positive stuff to say. And so yeah, it's not Disney catering to either side. It's Disney thinking of a financial decision. It's like, this thing costs 180 million dollars to make. And if so if you it's the same thing when it comes to a movie at the box office.
The global viewership was terrible. And here's the thing is when you spend that much money when you could have made Dune, you know what I mean? Like you could
Yeah.
have made a quality of Dune and you got that instead. Um, Crazy.
Yeah, this, and like and the one thing I'm sick of is the people blaming other people, and it's like, oh, you're racist, oh, it's because you're sexist, it's because you didn't like it. No, no, it's like, yes, there's people out there that are sexist and racist and whatever that don't like the show because of that reason, but it's a very small majority of people, and you're giving them what they want. You are giving them the energy you need. If you're one of the people saying this, they're like, oh, you're sexist and racist because that's why you're right. You're giving what you want because you're blaming everyone else for that. That's what they want you to do. And it's like you're giving them the attention that they want, need, and crave. And that's why I hate Disney, where they're allowing these the director Leslie Headland and like the actor that played Osha and May in the show going around. They're like, yeah, the whole point was making white men cry. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why is that your speech?
I
Don't
just
don't don't cave in.
I just for me it's not even about that. It's
No,
it's did you make a good show? And based upon ratings, there are some people that are going to
yeah,
intrinsically hate and they just hate. And that's
yes,
annoying. And like, give it a chance. But they had opportunities to make it good
yeah.
and it was bad. Like, they had flashes of brilliance in like the fighting scenes and everything. And then they'd had bad writing. But it's like, what happened? Who wrote this? Like a 5-year-old? Just, they
Yeah.
should have had Chat GPT just write it.
Exactly. Oh, see that, and it's like you do see it. Like the first episode, at least the first two episodes, had pretty good numbers. Like they had interesting numbers, probably more higher than the Andor itself. But then if you look at the rest, they drop off because people lost interest because the show wasn't good or wasn't for them. Oh, you want to put it in a nice way. Um, and but then, like, and next people like want to blame people that hate it, like saying like, oh, well, you told this person not to watch it, so they didn't watch it. Well, if you're the person that likes the show and you said like, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch it, you're part of the problem too. If you're saying that we have that much power to tell someone not to watch it, you do too. If you said that, it's just like that people want to point fingers and not look at the facts, and the facts is the numbers. I don't care if you like it. If you like it, good for you. Unfortunately, I didn't like it. I felt like there could have been different ways to do it. And it shows. And it shows that the majority of the audiences did not care for the Acolyte. And that's why they're not going to do a season 2, because at the end of the day, Disney doesn't care about me. They don't care about you. They care about how much money they can shove in the back of their pocket. That's all they care about.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is do we know how much money this lost is the better question.
They're ready
I mean,
to.
it was good. It was good enough for Bob Iger to go, like,
Yeah,
cut it out. Like, so I think it's the perspective of like it's it's about the money, and unfortunately they spent a lot of it.
yeah.
So
Like if like if they really cared about the fans, where's my Darth Vader show? Where is that? Give it. Come on, Disney. Ease it.
yeah, I know.
Like so, they don't care about you. They unfortunately don't. The creators do. I'll say that the creators do, but Disney itself doesn't. And so, but I mean, besides Leslie Headland, I don't think she cares about anyone but herself and be like, oh, I'm the one. Yeah. And so, but yeah, it. The only good thing that comes out of this is maybe there's some full like some smart thinking coming from Disney now. It's like, okay, we can't be putting stuff out like that. Like it's the same thing with like, the DC with WB. The reason why they axed the DCEU is because it was a failure. And people are getting upset, like, oh, they fired Henry Cavill. No one went and saw Black Adam to give him give the reason to bring Henry Cavill back in the first place. So it's like there was no fan base in there in the DCEU for a reason to bring back Henry Cavill in the first place. That's why they had to axe it and start from scratch. Like, there's no point of continuing a universe that's already dead. That most of the movie going audiences don't care about, and even the fans don't care about because it's not Zack Snyder. So it's just
I think it just
it's a
it
financial
really
decision.
depends. And that's the thing is it's like it's difficult because some stuff can do very well financially and it's
Yeah,
actually bad. Other stuff can be really good and
and
do
not do
terrible
well. Like
financially.
like Fall Guy, a movie I really like, but unfortunately no
Yeah.
one really saw because the marketing wasn't really there, and the title honestly kind of sucks. The only people that are gonna really care about the title is the people that watch the show. So
Yeah, and in order to understand that, usually a title gives an insight into, what it's going to be talking about, and it just didn't. So
no.
I really hope that Disney turns it around. I mean, it stinks. It really does stink. I
Yeah,
think
for the ones
you
that
really
like the
want,
show, yes, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you want to like the show. You want to have another chance where it's like, okay, maybe with a different director, a different script, we'd be having a different conversation or a different story. Uh, but Disney is going to have to learn the hard way that slapping Star Wars or Marvel or Disney or even Pixar on a movie does not make it good,
yeah.
let alone a show. And
Well,
so, and
it
that's the thing is they like it's like Avatar. Let's keep making the blue people movie so people keep seeing. I mean, it's like how many can you really do of that genuinely?
yeah.
So,
Well,
just
and
my thought
and
process.
well, and it's like Ahsoka season two. Ahsoka's getting a season two, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I would rather watch it over the Acolyte, but it shows in the numbers like people watched it and people are interested, even if they didn't like it, it got the numbers, and so um, it's just Disney has been putting out not I don't want to offend people, but they've been putting out garbage after garbage. And now they're starting to realize that they're losing a lot of money when they do that. Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, um, Mandalorian season 3. Like the only good things that Disney put out when it came to their Disney Plus Star Wars stuff is the first two Mandalorians seasons and Andor. You know how much money that they lost on Star Wars?
Yeah,
And like, and not even knowing what to do with their own universe. You get three different movies coming out. The Ray movie, which no one asked for. You got the Mandalorian movie that's supposed to set up like a probably a Mandalorian trilogy, I think. And you also got the James Mangold, the First Jedi movie as well. And there, guess what? All of them are about three different eras, and none of them is about and none of them are going to have a clear connection to anything. They're just going to be their own separate things, and it's like whenever they come out, it's not nothing like the MCU where it's going to be a cohesive storytelling. And so Star Wars itself is just a mess right now, and Disney needs to pick one thing and go from there. And and yeah, you can have your solo stories, like your solo spin-offs, whatever, like they did with Star Wars stories. But if you're gonna, but it's your universe is gonna feel so disconnected when you're doing all these different projects that don't lead to anything. So that's kind of like how it is.
I
Um,
agree.
but yeah,
Well, so no, it's definitely something. I think it'll be interesting to see where Disney goes from here, especially as they try and impress stockholders. Parks are under pressure. I mean, they're gonna have to start making really smart decisions of how they're gonna make money. And making fan bases angry does not does
yeah,
not do that. Or losing money on
that's not their
yeah.
goal. Sometimes it
Yeah.
is when it comes to Snow White, but that is not really their goal. They all they care about is like how much money they can put in their pocket, and the Acolyte didn't do that. It simply didn't, and it's not because of haters or racists, even though there are racist and sexist people out there. That's not what it did. It's just simply no one really was interested in the first place. Even if there was your small little group that were. So because they're not gonna release something for something that doesn't make its money back. They're simply not going to, because what's the
Yeah.
point? But yeah. Anyway, let us guys your know let us you I gotta rephrase myself. I don't know why I'm stumbling today. Guys, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on the Acolyte, on this decision. Do you like it? Do you disagree? Or do you hate me now because I called you out for your stupid arguments? Let me know in the comment section below. Moving on to interesting Star Wars news, Skeleton Crew, which is not something I was actually really interested in, but they dropped that first trailer. It actually looks kind of interesting. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it a tiny bit. I don't know why there's submarines in Star Wars. I don't know why there's that. That's the only thing I don't find interesting. So, but the whole entire like trailer gave a little bit nostalgic to like the Goonies and Stranger Things, at least the first season. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
So good question. I really like Jude Law. So
Yes.
that is very exciting. He's
I
a fantastic talent. I think for me, it's everybody was like hating on it, and I'm like, you're old. Like, of course you're not going to connect with it, bro. This is for people that are our age, that really
well,
want to,
people connected to Inside Out too. Older people.
so that's true.
But I don't know. I think some people are the one thing a problem with the generation right now is that not a lot of people have their own, like Inside Out is like their own thing, but like there's a lot of like remakes coming out, and like so not a lot of the younger generation has their own thing. I think that's what people are probably complaining about, like the older people. There's probably some people that you're pointing out too that were complaining, but I do see a lot of complaints saying like give the younger generations their own thing, and we'll talk about a little bit more of that when we get to a certain topic later. But I really like this. I don't know why there's so many Jedi's though in this universe after Order 66. It's like Order 66 never happened. So I don't get that. But I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. And it doesn't seem like it's gonna connect to anything like the Acolyte. That's the biggest
Yep.
problem with the Acolyte. It tried to connect to the prequels, and that's where you messed up, because that's a crucial story point for the whole entire saga. This seems like it's just its own little thing that happened in the universe, and it's a story off somewhere in the galaxy. So that's where finds it interesting enough. But any other thoughts on the Skeleton Crew?
No, I'm interested to see more. I need to see more videos and read more about it. I think that's where the ooh, let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So let us know your guys' thoughts on the Skeleton Crew trailer down below. Are you guys excited? Or do you guys find it like a cheap knockoff nostalgia? I don't know. Let us you guys know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Moving on to like a Marvel topic now, is that Nicolas Cage was asked to return as Ghostrider in Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't
I
think
did see
you've
that.
have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine, or
I didn't, so I
no?
probably won't see it. But I've heard all about it
Because
and read
Nicolas
all.
Cage wasn't in it?
Yeah,
No.
how did you know?
No. But yeah, I'm and I've read his responses because he just never I don't even think he had a good time on Ghostrider. The first two movies. I don't even they weren't even really good in the first place. So like there was just no he felt like there was just no reason for him to return. Um, but would you I and honestly I don't even think it would really mattered. I don't I since you didn't see the movie, it's kind of hard to talk about it. But Nicolas Cage, he's a good actor, but I don't think it would have really mattered if he was in Deadpool or not. I think the cameos that were in the film worked for the story, and there's a certain line when you go when you do the cameos. There's like a boundary. It's like okay, how much is too much really? And if they probably added a few more cameos, it would probably felt overwhelming. And like okay, this is just a cameo fest, even though it kind of was, but it felt like the right amount. It's Goldilocks, like the soup in the chair. It's just right. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
No, so here's the interesting thing. I think I love the nostalgia aspect of bringing back actors that have previously played. Um, you know, we talk about the Chris Evans one, but like where actors played previous ones, and you're like, oh, this was actually good. I think it would have been cool, but the better question is that something you can use in a different upcoming Marvel film from the perspective of like, different universes and stuff? That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's where they can leverage it better.
Like Secret Wars and all of that. Yeah. That could be interesting. Maybe the idea they brought to him wasn't interesting enough for him. And maybe if they go like, hey, you want to return to Secret Wars? And like maybe that'll do it for him. I don't know. Did you see the Ghost Rider movies? What are your thoughts on
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, they were good for the time, I think. Like I said, I
Try
think I've also seen the TV show where there was a different Ghost Rider in Agents of Shield.
uh
So I think I liked the character. I like the character. I Some people don't like Nicolas Cage, but
I
it's just one
like
of
him.
those things.
He's funny. A great actor. Um But yeah, I don't know. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below of Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider's return. Maybe if you think he will return in Secret Wars instead. Anyway, guys, I need to stop doing that outro. It's bugging me. So let us know in the comment section below. Moving on to D23. D sucks 23.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They announced a lot of interesting things. So one of the big ones was announced was Incredibles 3, the Leo and Stitch live action. God dang it, freaking live actions like I'll say the Stitch looks good. Good job, Disney. Now, stop it. That's all you need to just release the teaser and you're good. You don't even need to release the movie. Stop doing that. What else did they release? They really isn't there like a nurse sequel to something? We're getting the Moana live action too. There's that.
Oh yes, Moana action. I'm like, what else are they going to make live action?
See,
Is the better question.
this is what I was talking about in the earlier topic about like the younger generation not really having their own thing. It's just literally now just remakes. The Crow sucks. Crow sucks.
I
Um,
just, I'm excited for Incredibles 3.
yeah,
That's,
that's probably the more interesting one to me. I'm not a really big fan of the second one, but I really love the first one. The first one's really good. So if they bring it back to that of how that was done, then that could be interesting to see how well that's done. That could be. But besides that, there isn't really much. I remember the topics, but I don't remember what they announced. I'm taking a well, they did release a little teaser for Toy Story 5. So for Toy Story 5, they kind of hinted at like more evil buzzes, and this one would have to deal with technology, like kids being distracted with their iPad or whatever, which we've seen done plenty of times. But if it has the Toy Story heart and charm, maybe it could work. This one just feels like now I'm kind of getting a little bit worried with Toy Story because Toy Story 3 was like this is what people would say. Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending for Toy Story. And next, like they made Toy Story 4. It's like, really, do we need another one? You did so good with the last one. And it's like, Toy Story 4 comes out and it's like still good. And people are like, okay, this is not something we needed, but it's still good. stop after this. Now Toy Story 5 might be the downfall for the Toy Story films because like now it's like, what are you gonna do next for that? They announced Frozen 3, and I think they're also doing Frozen 4 as well. So they're doing 3 and 4. Trying to see what else they released. They released like a trailer for um Captain America Raven
I did see
Reload,
that.
where you see a little bit more of Harrison Ford's look of Red Hulk.
Red Hulk.
Um,
Um, Dude is so old. I love Harrison Ford, but I was like, that is not what I was expecting.
yeah,
So
they
that was
can
definitely something.
they can CGI out his wrinkles.
Yeah, I'm like, can they have picked somebody who's old? I'm just
Well,
kidding.
they have to pick someone old because the previous actor was kind of old. I forget, I don't know his age, but not as old as Harrison Ford. Not he wasn't 80.
Yes.
So but and they also announced the sequel to Freaky Friday, which it seems like it's just going to be literally the same thing as the first one, but instead of bit a mid-age mom and a young teenage daughter, it's going to be a mid-age mom and an old grandma, which doesn't seem
Still
as interesting.
funny.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
but it's not gonna you're not gonna it's not gonna be really any different from the first one. If you did, I don't know, the grandma as a really young kid and next the kid as the older grandma, maybe that could have been interesting. I don't know really what you could have done with it, but
yeah. And that's where it's interesting is it's like, okay, well, I think Disney is figuring out which ones need sequels, which don't. I feel like they're gonna just milk stuff until they,
run out of ideas. Well,
yeah,
they already
yeah,
did.
unfortunately.
So until they go out of business, actually, is the better way to say it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and we got a teaser for the Snow White, which this one had a big freaking problem first time when it's like
Yes.
trying to be diverse but without being diverse. It's like, hey, we're gonna have have multiple different races, but not get dwarfs to play the dwarf characters.
Yeah, that was
So
really weird.
it,
I felt like that was strange.
yeah,
Um, I'm not saying like you can't like shrink people down, but when you have actors that fall into that category in class,
it's like
use them.
give them the
Y-
role. Like it's
Yeah.
like you're not being diverse if you don't give someone
Yeah.
that's actually small the role. And guys, guess what? They don't care if you call them dwarfs. So but and the decision that they wanted to go with is even a kind of a worse decision. They decided to CGI the dwarfs, which they look weird. Like I don't know about that. Like you simply just cast an actual small person and or dwarf, or however you want to call it, mini person. People are gonna get offended no matter what. So I don't know why I'm trying to defend myself here. But um yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think of the CGI dwarfs?
Yeah. So that's the weird thing is I don't think they look bad. I think it looks better than it did before.
No, yeah, it's easily better. It's the Sonic treatment, but is it though? It's like I don't know. It's I don't know if it's more insulting that you just simply didn't cast someone that's small, or like you trying to be somewhat accurate to the original how the original dwarfs looked. But yeah, I don't know. And like
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when you do live action and you're like casting a super cartoon character. Like recently, during after D23, they announced that there's going to be more like evil villains, and one of them was Doctor Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
they're giving
And
him a live
the
action.
no, 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 not the movie. They're giving him a live action character in the park, and the dude was
Oh,
scary. He was scary. I was like, dang, he kind of looks scary.
he doesn't look like the
So
character at all.
no, I mean he kind of does, but when you have somebody with such a different shaped head, it's very difficult to make something live action.
Yeah, true, true, true. I mean, like for a movie, it'll probably be a little bit easier. You can CGI that, but trying to put him in a park, that is definitely weird. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I knew Deadpool got added to Disneyland. But that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else that was announced in here. Oh, Tron, that was one of the things.
I did see that.
Um,
Tron will always have a special place in my heart because it's such a great concept.
yeah,
They can do it really well.
what do you think of the
Spend money.
sequel though? Do
I,
you yeah. Are they
yeah,
are
I
they
mean,
are they gonna bring back they're not gonna bring back the main lead, but are they gonna bring back the guy that was in the first one that was in the sequel to
that's what I don't know. Like Tron Legacy came out, what, 2011, probably 2010, 2011.
yeah.
I liked that film. I thought it was cool. It was very entertaining. They spent a lot of money, if I remember correctly.
It did not make its money
So
back. It did not. It failed.
no, I remember that, but it was cool. I mean, the special effects were cool. It was a good idea. So, like I said, Disney has opportunities. They just have to leverage and use them.
Yeah. Another thing that was shown off a little bit more was Ello, which is a Pixar original. So anyone that's complaining about original films don't get made today, they do. You just got to go support them, and next they will do more, and they'll make more of it. And Pixar is in a state where they need to release some sequels to revamp their name after being destroyed by Bob Chapek by just throwing a lot of their movies onto Disney Plus. So they need to and Inside Out is doing that for them. It's really helping them out for that. Which I don't know much about Ello. Another thing that was announced was Zootopia 2. Was that like is that the first announcement, or do we already know that there was Zootopia
I
2
thought
was
they, I thought that was already rumored, and then that was just like their official announcement. There's a lot of things that people are like, "Oh, it's rumored to get another blah," and then it happens.
okay. And this one is going to deal with a little bit more of the lizard side of Zootopia, which sounds interesting. I was like, okay, because the first one dealt with uh finding your place and like somewhat like diversity and all that. So that could be interesting to see. Next we got the Skeleton Crew, of course. Agatha All the Long trailer. I'm not really looking forward to that series at all. We got a snippet of the Fantastic Four stuff, which they got its title officially called First Steps. And you got your first look at Galactus, which is interesting. So that was kind of cool. Any thoughts on that? Or
Yeah, no, I don't have any additional thoughts. I think I'm one of those people that has to see it and how they ascribe it.
speaking of blue people, Avatar, Fire and
Oh my
Ash.
goodness. Yeah, they're at this point they're just going through the elements.
That is really true. That is what like sooner or later you will have they'll when they go to Earth. That's the plan for like the fourth and fifth one that they want to go. They will take the avatars to Earth and they'll start doing airbending stuff. So but I think that's everything, at least big wise. And we already talked about Tron. Dwayne Johnson is doing a original film called Monster Jam. I don't know much about that. Um, win or lose. That's a Pixar original Disney Plus show. Seems very interesting. It has to deal with around baseball. That's kind of cool. Uh, Hoppers seems like it has to deal with which is another Pixar original that has to deal with
Hmm.
like a loose guinea pig or whatever. Or no, someone's mind gets transported into a guinea pig, right? I think that's what.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. It's very interesting.
Hmm.
I think it could be pretty cool. So, I mean,
Mufasa's Lion King.
interesting. I think it looks interesting. It'll be cool to see a backstory. I like prequels more than I like sequels. So
Well,
I like that.
I'll give Disney credit for this. This is an original story, so good for you. Um, but I'm sick and tired of these live action remakes. And one of the worst ones I hate the most is that Lion King one because it's a heartless soul of the original film. It's really like you can't you when you watch Mufasa's death and from the remake into the original one, there's nothing there. The original one has that heart and felt because the animation helps give off that emotion. Here, we are seeing real animals go through these and talking. It's actually distracting. It actually backfires on the for the movie. So, the music might be the best part again. And yes, the CGI might be really good, but and the story
Could be very good.
could, yeah. And the story might be intriguing, but it would not be pulled as well at pulled well. Really, give me a second, guys. Pulled off as well as if it was a animation,
Correct.
which
Correct.
I would have been more excited if they announced it in that way. Like, hey, we're bringing back the classic animation. And guess what the film is going to be? It's going to be a Mufasa prequel. Then you would have more people excited. I guarantee it. You would have a lot more people excited for that. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below for D23. Are you excited for anything that they announced or that we didn't talk about on here? Let us know your guys' thoughts. Are you guys very disappointed like every year that D23 really is? Oh, they did talk about Andor a tiny bit, so there's that. But moving on to the next topic is that the director of Alien Romulus, which is a movie you still haven't seen, both you and the audience, you guys need to go see Alien Romulus. It's good besides that final 10 minutes. But the director of Alien Romulus is talking about doing a new Alien versus Predator movie, but with the director of Prey. So that seems actually very interesting.
I know
But
the Prey movie was great.
it was really
Right.
good. And but I don't know how they would handle co-directing. I don't want them to do like, like because usually when it comes to co-directing, one director does one half of the film, the other one does that other half. I don't want it to be feeling disconnected where it's two different visions. They need to be on the same page with one another. So that's and also shows the actual fights, unlike the other ones that just really try to focus on the humans when we're really there to see the alien and the predator fight. I mean, like, at least attempt some form of interesting characters if you're going to have humans in it. But the main thing that we're there for is the alien versus the predators. Just so if you're going to do that, that needs to be your main focus. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think if with the right creative direction, and if they continue to keep the storyline of Alien and Prey and really do justice to like the characters and the aliens and also like the backstory of the humans and the different things, it can be a home run. Like that could
Yeah,
be a smashing hit.
for sure, for sure. Yeah. Um, I
But they're gonna have to be really diligent not to make it another. Otherwise, with how many alien movies they have, it could turn into a Fast and Furious if they start bad writing and like just throwing
corny
aliens in to throw
jokes.
stuff
Yeah,
in. Yeah, it can get
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, and that was like the problem with actually the problem with one of them is that one of them had not very much of Alien versus Predator, and the sequel had it was there, but you couldn't see jack of it. It was terrible lighting.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I think with both of these directors, they definitely easily make something better. And I
Yep.
think
And it could be great.
yeah,
It could be a huge win.
you could have handed a camera off to I don't know probably anyone besides Leslie Headland, and it'll be better.
Oh
So
my gosh. He's
really,
he's letting Do you not like Leslie? Is that what I'm hearing? No,
I
I'm
don't
just
I
kidding.
don't think I really like her as a person. She sounds very mean when see
Oh
all
my
these
goodness.
interviews. But yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts on this being like an idea for a film. What would you like to see them do with that type of idea? Let us know in the comment section below. Moving on to Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven the Hunter was supposed to come out in August. Where is it?
Mm,
That's because it got delayed to December. It's coming out as a Christmas movie. Don't know why, but okay. It's probably the failure of Madam Web that made them move it. And
true.
so, the one thing that I'm kind of interested in this movie, but I'm also not. I'm interested in that's because it's rated R. Why was
Hmm.
Venom not rated R? Sony, what the heck? Um, How can you have a Venom with Carnage and not be violent? I don't know. Make it PG. That's the only way.
They should have made it a they should have made it G.
They should
I'm
have made
just
it
kidding.
G. It could have
I'm
easily
kidding.
gotten away with G. Not gonna lie. You know what? Jaws, if Jaws can be PG, that can be G. So yeah, I don't know. I think uh Taylor Johnson, I think that's how you say his name. I think he's a perfect pick for this character. I really like him a lot. He was perfect in
I
Bullet
agree.
Train. He was good as Silver Surfer as he lasted in that film. So I think I don't think if this movie is bad, I don't think this is going to really hurt his career that much. Unless he's the one unless he is the most positive thing about the film. And so if he's the most positive thing about the film, and even if the movie sucks, I think you'll be fine. But I'm hoping that this movie's good because there could be something interesting with Kraven. I'm just sick and tired of seeing Sony do these villain films without them being villains. They try to make the
Yeah.
villains be hero, and that's the reason why I don't really like Venom. Even though Venom is a kind of an anti-hero, but he's a straight up hero. He's a straight up hero in these movies, and Madam Web just sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
I thought it was really good. I think it's interesting because I think Craven was supposed to be in the fourth Sam Raimi, right, film. Like was supposed to be one of like
Yeah,
the
with like
characters.
Mysterio. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because it's like, oh wait, we're actually getting a movie about this entire character. I think this could be a huge win if it's done right.
Yes.
The trailer looked intriguing. I will definitely go see the movie, assuming that
What
it's not
about
like
what about Rhino?
overly, you know,
He kind of looks
that's
off.
sad. He's a great character though. Rhino's a great.
Uh,
I don't know. Rhino can be great. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
I'm gonna reserve judgment because I wanna see it. I really do.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. At least they didn't do the Paul how you say his last name? That they put him in Amazing Spider-Man 2. At least
Oh
they didn't do that. The metal
yes,
mechanic
yeah.
crap.
They did a good job. So
So let us know your guys' thoughts on the Kraven trailer. Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys sick and tired of these Sony Marvel movies like I am? Let us know in the comment section below. Moving on to another movie trailer, a movie I wasn't even actually expecting at all is a Saturday Night Live type of movie. So this is like I do you know much about this? I've only seen the trailer, but so I don't really know when this is taking place in the timeline of Saturday Night Live or anything like that. So, like, do you know much about this?
no, so that was actually something that I was interested about. So the Saturday Night trailer was interesting in general. Um, for me, the thing that's most fascinating is it's like one, it's Finn Wolfhard, right? Finn Wolfhard, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was not anticipating this at any like this was an interesting. Oh, this is new. This is different. I'm kind of excited to see it. I'm very interested to see how this kind of comes along, and yeah, I just think it's a cool idea. So that's why I'm excited for it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't know really much about the characters or anything like that. Do you have an insight on because I don't really know much. I don't even really pay attention to Saturday Night Live at all. I maybe see their clips like the Jake Gyllenhaal one where with he was playing the Scooby-Doo cast members skit, which was funny. But like do you know so you don't know really that much about what the story is or anything. Saturday Night Live falling off, numbers are falling down type of deal, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true though. They are.
Oh, they
So
definitely are. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's where, and it's interesting that Sony's doing it. That was something that was cool to me too. Is like the cast is very good. Like the appearance is interesting. I like that there's more. I don't want to say they're no name people, but they're lesser known individuals.
Mm,
So I like the idea of it, like talking about the cultural impact of Saturday Night.
yeah.
So that to me is a fantastic story. That's why it's going to be good.
Maybe this movie will help them unless they stop their stupid agendas that they've been pushing. So let us know your guys' thoughts on this trailer down below. I'm actually looking forward to this. I don't remember when it's coming out. It's coming out this year, I think. I just don't know when. It might be November or December when this is coming out. But let us know in the comment section below. Moving on to this interesting, intriguing topic. So you guys like Chick-fil-A, right? So why not buy a streaming service where the original
Chick-fil-A, why are you going to do that? Why are you going to do that to us?
what's when their original show is going to be about how they make the chicken? Is that how it's gonna be? You're gonna really
No,
upset a lot of vegan people, but
what I know is they're going to upset a lot of people that have to buy another streaming service. Just
that
kidding.
too. Yeah. Well, so they are partnering up with a lot of production companies, from my understanding when I read this, and they're going to be doing originals, and this is an interesting move. It's definitely would help their marketing when it comes to Chick-fil-A. I don't know, like whenever you first buy Chick-fil-A streaming service, you get 4 months free of chicken nuggets. I don't know. Or maybe the opposite when you buy a meal there. Oh, you bought a crispy chicken combo? Here's a 3 months free of this chicken Chick-fil-A plus. Like it's
I'm
interesting.
surprised they don't give you their mixtapes in the drive.
Yeah. Like,
They're
it's
like, please order this. No, I'm just
please
kidding.
order. Or like, and maybe one way they can combine it with their Chick-fil-A online app with the streaming service where you can buy your food there while you're watching
Very
whatever
true, though.
streaming show that you're watching or movie. I don't know. It seems like if this is successful, you're gonna see McDonald's jumping in into the wagon for sure with they'll get their own uh McDonald original show with the clown. I don't remember the clown's name. But
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I hope it's not like that. Could you imagine?
imagine you get like you remember those like YouTube shorts where the original like the McDonald's clown is like horse stuff or going around killing kids or whatever. Imagine McDonald's promoting that type of stuff on their own streaming platform. That would be funny. Honestly, I it'd be funny if McDonald's would dive in, push into that or cave into that, whatever. I don't know. Would you guys buy Chick-fil-A streaming service? What? If you own Peacock, drop that for Chick-fil-A. Like, you get food and a streaming services. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on that. Moving on to another streaming service, I guess, is Kevin Costner's Flop Horizon sets to release on Max, which is technically out right now. Did you ever see Horizon?
No, but I've
No.
seen a lot of Kevin Costner stuff in general.
Mm.
I'm interested. He's had some really good stuff.
I've seen it. I have a review out on it on the channel. You guys can go check out. It's all right. It's not the worst thing ever. But this is an interesting thing to see because the movie did flop at theaters. No one saw it. I think it only made $11 million worldwide on $100 million budget. And this was only a part one. This wasn't really this was supposed to get like three other parts. It was supposed to get like four parts, I think. And they already started on the production of the third film, but then they stopped midway to promote the first one, and next they never went back into production because this one didn't make any money. So maybe by doing this, they might get some form of a attention, some form of word of mouth to help for the sequel because the second one was done. Like they finished and filmed it. And it was supposed to come out August, but then they pulled it from the schedule. So maybe with this Max release, it will help the movie get some eyes and like word of mouth. And next, maybe they'll either release the sequel or drop it on some streaming service like Max. So what are your thoughts on that type of deal? Like, how do you see this turning out?
Yeah, so Max has some really good programs.
Yeah,
So I think adding a Kevin Costner saga to it, and then if they do if they do enough like word of mouth advertising, I think this could be a home run. Like I said, Kevin Costner has some really good stuff. So this I think is a really intelligent idea from them. And I think like building people up to want more chapters. I mean, that's how streaming services should work. Create a very like intricate, unique story with a fantastic actor and maybe like a good supporting cast of like new people that they can help like uplift,
yeah.
like make popular, and then want more chapters.
Mhm. I mean, like, there's plenty of movies that don't do very well in theaters, but then they find their place on streaming, and that's mostly because they put it in theaters first. So, but yeah, so this could be a situation like this where they find their they find the audience that people are like, oh, Horizon, I meant to check that out, but I didn't go see it. So mostly because it's a 3-hour movie. And so let's watch it now on Max. That is probably the popular streaming service out there. I think it's probably more popular than Disney Plus, even though Disney Plus is more is definitely profitable. I think it actually just became profitable. But Max has the better quality over Disney Plus and all these other streaming services. So it's a good place to put it if you're looking for people to find eyes. And since it's not in theaters, I do recommend you guys check it out. It has some great cinematography. The acting is pretty good, but the story is a little bit messy. It kind of gets a little bit entangled in one of itself. Um,
I
but
think that's I think that's the Kevin Costner on it though. I think that having that intricate of a story is very much aligns with who he is. Just my thought process.
Well, yeah,
So
but you have four different storylines, and two of them don't even connect to one another. And
yeah.
next, you're expecting Kevin Costner to be in the film, and he's hardly in it. He's actually, I would say, he's probably in it for like 40 minutes, and he doesn't show up until like the hour point of the film. And so, and he gets wrapped into the movie with the storyline that doesn't even connect to what we opened up with. So, and probably will sooner or later connect to one another in the other films. But right now, it feels discontinued. It feels disconnected, and maybe a TV show would have been better for the idea that he wanted to do. Like maybe one season miniseries type of deal. So I don't know. Yeah, go check it out on Max. And if you need the bathroom, you always pause it. That's the beauty of streaming. So it is a very long movie. So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on the comment section below. Have you seen Horizon or not? Or if you're gonna check it out on Max. So moving on to the final topic of this episode. I know we're moving fast. He's making me do it. We would be here
I'm
all
not
day.
I am not making you do it. I am
Uh,
just one person that believes that I could sit here and talk for 4 hours about one topic, but nobody wants to hear
why
that.
not? Let's make it a 24-hour podcast.
Oh
Um,
my goodness, that would be really funny.
but
The telecastathon.
yeah, ending on more exciting, I guess, news, I guess, is Knives Out 3 is done filming. I really like the Knives Out
Excellent.
films. I own the
Me
first one.
too.
Netflix, where's my physical release of Knives Out 2? Oh, you don't like doing that? Well, you're missing out on money. Idiots. Um, but I'm excited for Knives Out 3. It's Jeremy Renner was in the casting of this film. Who else? Do you know who else was cast in this movie? He's the only one I know. NX, of course, the returning detective. Um, actor name I can't remember.
Um, oh crap. You put me on the spot. I don't know
Well,
off the top of my
you're
head.
you're the more Knives Out than me.
I'm a person that likes lots of different things. Are you saying in the third film or
Yeah,
which character? You mean
like
Daniel Craig?
well, Daniel Craig. Yes, I know he is in it, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't remember his name, but Jeremy Renner's one of the new cast members of like the
Yes.
Mysterious. But like, who else is in
And
it?
Glenn Close, Mila Kunis is in it.
Okay,
Kerry Washington? Kerry Washington? It's Wake Up Dead Man, isn't it? I think is what it's called.
for Knives Out 3, or
Yes.
oh,
I
okay.
think is the name of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll. I'm curious to see if it's going to get a limited theater release like Knives Out 2 did. It probably will. I just hate that it's owned by Netflix now. I really do. Like Netflix is like a terrible partnership for when it comes to movies and its theatrical releases because they sooner or later, I guarantee it, Netflix will go out of business. Netflix is basically blockbusters where they don't want to change and not release their movies first in theaters for a minimum of 90 days. And
I did see that. I'm interested to see how that helps movie industry wise.
yeah.
I
Like
think it's
the
good, but then it's like, what's the point of 5,000 subscriptions if they're not going to drop it immediately? You know what I mean?
Well, no, so what you do is you give the announcement of I don't want to say that yet. So you release it in theaters first, and next you wait after that 90 days is up to drop the announcement of like, hey, it's going up on here for on Netflix for this date, and that's like maybe a month out. And so the people that didn't go a chance to get to see it in theaters will go and watch it on Netflix. And you get the streaming services for also their original stuff, like original movies of time, like so you can have original movies, but also exclusive original streaming movies. So there's that you can do. And next, the original TV shows. There's always option. There's always other ways to do that. And this one, like you can have two separate departments. You can have your theatrical releases production. You can have your streaming production. That's how it was with TV, where you had like the bigger movies, and actually you had these straight to TV movies. So you have that.
Or straight to DVD if it's a horrible movie.
Yeah, like the Lion King sequels. So, oh, those don't exist.
One and a half? No, I'm just kidding.
So, like, they're like, it's all coming back to cable. It's literally, but Netflix doesn't want to change. Netflix is like, we're the ones that paid the road to streaming. It's like, yeah, you were, but so was Blockbusters when it came to physical media and how on it's renting. And look at that, they didn't change. So, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to Knives Out 3. I really like the first two. I'm actually repeating myself. This turned into a different topic. Sorry, we're supposed to be talking about Knives Out 3. What do you think of the story that it's going to be about for Knives Out 3?
I think it's going to be about it's a sequel to Glass Onion. So what if it's somebody who's trying to outsmart Daniel Craig's character?
So it's a true sequel to that. Is that what you're saying? Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says a sequel. So what if it's this, obviously it's the same universe, but what if it's from a perspective of somebody that's trying to outsmart Daniel Craig? Like they're actually like a supervillain that's trying to really outsmart him. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that could be an interesting idea. I didn't know about the straight to sequel idea. So there'll probably maybe be some characters from that movie carrying over to in this one. So that could be interesting. Let us know your guys' thoughts on Knives Out 3 down below. Are you guys looking for it, or are you guys never cared? I know some people that never really liked the first two, but I enjoy them. I think they're lovely films.
I think they are too. I think they're different. And Rian Johnson, I think, does an excellent job.
Yeah, I love mystery films. I really do. And unlike that one movie. Like that ones that like that mystery trilogy that we got, like that one takes place on a train, that one took place like in like a haunted cat. What is that movie? Gosh, it's based off a book series with Johnny Depp in it. That was Johnny Depp in it for one of them.
Murder on the Orient Express.
That's what it was. There was one on a boat.
Agatha Christie.
Yes.
Death on the Nile. Murder on the Orient Express, and the third one is A Haunting in Venice.
Yes, those were not very good. And so
I mean, if you've read the books, I think they're pretty intriguing.
I hate that excuse. Do not are you saying if I read the books, it would have been better?
Potentially, yeah, maybe. You may have liked them more.
I hate that excuse. I really do. I honestly do.
I won't use that excuse then.
Yeah, you're banned from using that excuse. If I ever hear it, if someone came to me and said like, "Hey, Carson said this," you owe me $5 every time you say it. But
in that case, I'm never going to say it. I'll have no money. I already don't have money, so then I'll have less.
So anyway, guys, that's all the topics that we got here today. It was pretty much quick. A lot of sad topics. Hopefully the next one we can get more upbeat.
Sad topics.
Yeah. And next me ranting about the Acolyte for maybe 10 minutes or so. Yeah. So hopefully the next one we get more uplifting stuff. It's the couple of past podcasts like we were talking about, like the whole Alec Baldwin situation as well. But yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts on the topics that we talked about in this episode. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys very much if you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can check out the review show as well on YouTube, where I also upload the video version of this. And yeah, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.